Hello and welcome to this episode of Breakthrough.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and we are recording this episode on Election Day.
That's
It
right.
is November 5th. It's
Mhm.
Election Day. I see you have your multi-issue
That's right.
voter on.
You got your
and
shirt.
my get out to vote, and really, we're really praying for a good day and a fair election. And no matter the outcomes, whoever gets voted into office on the federal, the state, or the local
Mhm.
level, we will continue to create the future.
Yeah, amen. I want to give a shout out to my pastor, who's a good friend of mine, Father Michael Holzman,
Oh, okay.
who is the best. I want to put this on record because he's just such a good person. And at Mass this weekend, he said at the end of Mass, some of us may be upset next Sunday, some of us may be rejoicing next Sunday. Regardless of that, if we are to declare our faith to matter to us, when we come to this altar, uh, none of that matters in the grand scheme of what our goal is as a community.
That's right.
And I, having known him for many years and gotten to know him outside of the church, I know he really means that. And it's been so beautiful and something I brought home to friends and such, and just been thinking about that of course it does matter. You know, these issues and these topics do matter, and voting matters. But at the end of the day, you know, the bigger spiritual journey that we're all on as a community will always matter more than anything else.
That's right. The sun is still going to rise tomorrow, and we're still called to be unifiers and reconcilers, and really get everyone to move into that oneness, that sense of unity, that we can all be different, and we can celebrate that and find strength in that. However, we can also be one. So good luck out there.
Have a good day. Have a
and
peaceful
thanks
day.
for all the poll workers and everyone that did all the work to bring us to this day. That's great.
And I think this will probably air this a few days after Election Day. So who knows what results or whatnot and all that jazz. But like Father Mike said, at the end of the day, it still matters. The relationships are what matters.
That's
Our
right.
Community building, and regardless of whoever wins in any election, there's always going to be work to be done.
Oh yes.
And that was a message that we'll get to here from the experience that I recently had.
That's right. Yeah. Sleeves rolled up, ready for any good work. Yeah. So at the end of October, you headed down to D.C. for the Ignatian Solidarity Network. 20 years now, they've been doing the Ignatian Family Teach-In for Justice. And so this is your second year going. So and big names there doing some keynotes. Father Brian Massengill.
I have my notes.
Was heading it up. So so what was some of the highlights of that?
I got my notes from his keynote because he was unreal. Father Brian Massengill. He's like I hope he sees this. I doubt he will, but I hope he does.
We'll send it to him.
I hope he does. He is like a rock star, and I mean that in all of the right ways. Where I've gotten to see him speak twice now, and I get the same feeling that you go when you see your favorite rock band of like, I know he's going to deliver. Like I know he's going to, and he's going to. I'm going to be bumping my head. I'm going to be feeling something. And it's real. And he also just takes the time to talk to people. Like he was talking to young people. He had a backpack on. He looked like one of the conference goers. Everyone that spoke had that same energy. So he was great. But yeah, the highlights. So I can't believe it's already over. It's been something we've been working on, but we got to take Breakthrough there too, which is why we got this lovely sign. The highlights are just the joy and the hope. The theme was steadfast hope in precarious times. And you just really felt that. And I know there was some concern. Some folks had reached out to me and said, are you nervous about going to D.C. a week before the election? What's the energy going to be like? It was nothing but positivity and joy. And honestly, you didn't even feel like anyone was really sitting there canvassing about the election. It was all about just, hey, the hope of whatever it is that's right, who's right in front of us. I was actually kind of surprised by how little the election actually came up in conversation because everyone was so much talking about what they were doing, their communities, what work. Immigration was a big talking point.
Right.
But I was actually kind of delightfully surprised at how much people were so focused in on each other.
Well, and what's so hopeful, I find, at such a gathering, is the number of young people
Oh
that are
yeah,
there. You
yeah.
know, high school age, college
Hmm.
age.
Hmm.
You know, and they are interested. They are concerned. They want to do acts of justice. They want to be
Yeah.
in it. Some of them are not of the age to vote yet, but they want to use their voices.
They were pumped up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I, it's always good when you can be around young people. And as someone who is a young adult still, I think I still consider myself that, right? I was floored and inspired by these mostly high school students, but just the energy that they had. Well, to paint a picture too for y'all, we had a table in the expo center, so I spent a lot of the time at the table, and then during the breakout sessions and whatnot, hopping into different things to see the keynotes and do all
Yeah.
that. It's a quick weekend, so it's like you like, I don't think I ever really went in my room other than to sleep,
Okay.
which is great. It's a great use of your time and whatnot. And so being out there in the expo center at the tables, all the students that come up to you, and sure, they come up looking like, you got any candy? You got a sticker? You got a
They want the
giveaway?
goodies, right?
But so many conversations and
Yeah.
people who are really like, oh, tell me more about what is
Mhm.
Breakthrough? What is
Yeah.
this? What are you doing here? And it's just really contagious excitement.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
good.
before we talk a little bit more about the young
Yeah,
people, what are some highlights from
sure. I got
Father
them.
Massingo's
Oh my
talk?
gosh. I like, it's hard to be professional right now because like as a fan, I just was so moved by
Yeah.
him, and like he's incredible. You can actually watch it on YouTube. So I suggest after you listen to me rant and rave about how awesome it was, go watch it. You
Yeah.
just type in Father Brian Massigil, Ignatian Family Network, Ignatian Solidarity Network, and it'll pop right up. His theme, so he did a really, really good job of listening to the theme, steadfast hope in precarious times, and breaking it down language wise of like,
Mhm.
what is precarious. And he emphasized the idea of like, the word precarious might not be used as much in our day-to-day language, so we forget. So he
Mhm.
literally pulled up the definition and was like, it's a word that literally means nasty. Like, it's a nasty word. And I just thought that was so cool of him to help us understand the definition of something, because then it helps us understand what we're to do with it.
Mhm.
And so he really leaned into this, like saying, this is nasty times. Like, and when you start to think of it like that, you're like, yeah, that's not good. We have to do something about that. And he went through all different types of topics and issues that we need to be praying about, things that are very close to his personal life,
Mhm.
and it was really lovely. But the quote that I want to pull here that I thought was really powerful was, the hope we need to have, it comes from the idea that we need to understand where anger and tension is coming from. And he said this, and this wasn't he took this from another writer and then riffed on it. But anger unvented becomes pain.
Mhm.
Pain unspoken becomes rage. Rage unleashed becomes violence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it speaks to how important it is for every single person to work on their interiority.
Hmm. Yeah.
What is upsetting me? What is making me angry? What is giving me fear?
Yeah.
And to come into that understanding, so it doesn't move into rage, so it doesn't move into violence, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So spoiler alert, I go check it out. Go watch his keynote. But he brings out this large dictionary that his grandma gave him, and the dictionary was a gift that he got. It's like beautiful. It looks like a religious item, like Indiana Jones found. And he mentions how important words are, and the importance of knowing how to go look up a word and all these things. But at the end of his sharing, he says he was given this gift, and everyone in his family said to his grandma, "Why did you give him this gift?" Why? And she said, "Because someday he'll need it." And this idea that all of us have gifts that someday we will need, and if we have people like Father Brian's grandmother in our lives who can lift those gifts up and say, "Here." I think about that, for instance, personally. Like, I thought of my dad, and I thought of how he gave me a camera when I was younger, and that I felt that same kind of connection with the way he was speaking about the dictionary, about someday, lean into gifts, lean into art,
Right.
and find ways to tell your stories. And
Yeah, how to
it's just
use
really,
those gifts for good.
yeah, it was really beautiful.
It reminds me of it's a Sufi proverb, in terms of using words, to ask yourself these three things. One, what I have to say, is it true?
Hmm.
Okay. And if it's true, okay. Is it necessary that I really have to speak it? Okay, yes, maybe it's necessary. Then the third thing is it kind? So can I speak that truth that needs to be heard in a kind manner so that it is heard?
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely how Father Massengill puts his message across. He's real. He is
He's
real.
so real.
Yeah.
He's awesome. What an I'm just so honored I got to see him again.
He's prophetic,
It really, yes,
for the
yes.
Catholic Church, for the world.
I texted Nina, my wife, during the during his talk. Sorry, Father Brian, I have my phone out. But I texted and I said, "This is the church I want our kids to grow up in."
Yes.
Like
yeah.
the way that he speaks, like, and Lord knows our church can be so divided and so confusing. And you go to one parish and you have a different experience. You go to another parish, and that's a hard thing. And as a young parent, that's the thing I talk to other people about.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of my friends reach out to me and they say that, I want to go back, but I got this pastor. I don't really, I'm not hearing the things that I feel like are the gospel. And I get it. That's a struggle. And so I would say, send people Father Brian Massengill's talks and his words, and because it restored a hope in me that there's a church out there that does want to have these conversations.
Yeah. So we hope everyone can
Please go
check
watch it.
out
Oh,
Father Massengill's
so
talk.
good.
I watched it once, and believe me, I'll watch it a few more times.
so good.
But tell us about Breakthrough at the conference.
It was awesome. I mean, we went there. We had a table. Myself and Helen Wolf with Mission Integration were at the table spreading the word about the Sisters of St. Joseph to everyone there, and then also sharing about our show, Breakthrough. Hey, right here. This is meta, and talking about the show. And we had little postcards and stickers, and just letting folks there know, like, hey, you should tune in. You should know about our charism and what the sisters are doing, and see if any of these episodes speak to you and could help you in your journey. But then the big message was that all of these young people should know that they have the power to have their own breakthroughs. And so then I gave a breakout room, a lot of breaking. I was like,
he was breaking out in DC.
But I was telling people about the breakout room. I was like, it's a breakout room on Breakthrough. And I was like, and there's a lot of breaking, but you should come. And so we did one of the breakout rooms about how storytelling can enhance your work for justice. And basically, I showed them the playbook on how we created this show. I actually went a little inside baseball because a lot of the people there were really curious about how to create something. They had ideas of their own. And so about 50 people came into the session, which we had a packed room for that session.
Great.
Yeah, it was awesome. And they were really curious. And so I literally pulled up the stats for our show.
Did you get them to subscribe so they can start watching?
I try my best.
Expand viewership.
I know, yeah. I shared with them a few clips, and I just kind of gave everybody a little bit of the inside scoop on why we started this show, why we consider it to be a successful show, and how it's engaging our community and the conversations that we are having with you all here on our campus because of it. And then the final message was, all of you, go out and create your own breakthrough for your community, whether that's a podcast for your high school class, whether you're a teacher and you want to start vlogging. One teacher said that she was going to start doing little TikTok videos about like Habitat for Humanity stuff. She wants to, and so then we started workshopping, and I started helping her out with some ideas. And it doesn't need to be, a million view thing. It just, your community could be nourished just by your own work. So it was really great, really good energy. And people were so receptive of it.
Yeah. And then speaking of young people, this is the first time, I believe, that one of our sponsored high schools, the Academia Maria Reina, all the way from Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico, came up and joined you.
It was so fun.
So share some of that experience.
Yeah, so three students and their campus minister, Saul, joined. And so I laughed so much. They're some of the funniest students I've ever met. And they came and they came ready to rock and take it all in. And it was really awesome. And their energy was so positive. And they were so excited to take part in it. And we're actually shortly here going to cut to, I interviewed the three of them.
Wonderful.
In the expo area, right outside our table. And it was, just to give you some behind the scenes too, we shot this quick little interview right after I did our breakout room. And some of the folks from the breakout room, I invited them to come follow me and watch behind the scenes. And in fact, one young person picked up the second camera and ran second camera because he was like, I want to learn how to do this stuff. I threw a camera at him. I said, good, shoot our B camera. And so you'll see he actually gets a lot of that. He did a very good job. It was great. So we'll.
Is he local?
No, he's not local. No. So we can cut to that and throw it in there. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, let's hear from the students.
Hey everybody, here for Breakthrough. Christian Murphy here. We are at the Ignatian Family Teaching for Justice. We got some of our friends here from AMR. So introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Isabella. I'm a junior.
I'm Hilary. I'm a senior.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm a sophomore.
Awesome. So we're here at the conference. It's been super exciting and fun. And I want to ask you, the three of you, what made you want to come here other than the fact that the Sisters of St. Joseph said, come on down? What for yourselves made you want to come to this conference?
I think I've never really known much about social justice, so just the theme of the whole conference really called my attention and made me want to come.
Yeah, like Isabella, I didn't really know much about social justice, just like the general aspect of it. And just learning about that and also learning about the Jesuits and how they support advocacy and social justice just really made it really interesting for me.
Yeah, I have to agree. The opportunity to learn something more, we can never pass on an opportunity like that. Yeah.
Lovely. So for you watching here, we're at the second day. We've already experienced a lot of the conference, and so I know it's a big question, but what is something you've experienced that's really moved you so far in this conference?
I think yesterday I was at the climate change one, and what really touched me was that people really talk about the whole climate change problem, but they don't really speak about solutions to the problem, so they just bring up the problem and no solutions. And that was like really impacting, and like now I have a different point of view of the whole crisis.
For me, just all the conferences I've had, immigration, kidnapping, they've been all super enriching, and I've learned so much that I'm going to share with my family and my friends.
Yeah, I have to agree. Truly, all the different conferences that we have been able to attend to, we have gained so much more knowledge and information that we will truly use for the rest of our lives, and I'm so thankful for that. Yeah.
This is so cool. The theme of the conference is steadfast hope in precarious times. And while the topics are so intense, the hope is felt all around. The joy and the opportunity for joy is here. And so I want to thank the three of you for coming here with us from Puerto Rico, representing the Sisters of St. Joseph so proudly. It means a lot to myself, and I know it means a lot to the sisters too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Again, thank you to the students for joining me for that experience. Hopefully next year we have more students from the other schools. It's part of my dream is that we go to this conference every year because it's always the last weekend of October. And it's pretty predictable in the sense of scheduling wise. It's always around then. It's usually at that same hotel. If not, it's in DC now always. And it's a really great time. It's a pretty easy thing to plug into. So I'd love to see more young people going.
Now, at the end of the conference, do they do a day of lobbying up on the Hill?
Yes, they do.
Wonderful.
So
Okay.
That's another thing I'd love to get more involved with is they invite the students to come prepared with a certain topic or an issue that they want to work on, and that they can then on Monday do what they call Advocacy Day. And they train you up on that, and they have sessions. And they show you how to what to wear, what are the key language, and then they go up there and they get to have some meetings.
It's a great civics lesson.
It's really
right?
cool. Yeah. It was an honor. I'm so grateful to the Sisters of St. Joseph for supporting this and this idea that started last year, and it now already in year 2 feels like it's blossomed so lovely, so beautifully. And thank you to the students. And I apologize that I don't recall the name of the student that ran that second camera, but you rock. And if you're watching this, please give us a comment or a message, and we'd love to keep in touch.
Great. Yeah. And again, thanks to Academia Maria Reina, Saul Morero, and the 3 students that companion you. It's wonderful to have that representation. Yeah, and thank you for going down there and being a part of it.
That was awesome.
I'm sorry I couldn't be there.
We'll get you there next year.
Maybe.
We'll get you there next year. Yeah, it'd be
hopefully.
Great. Yeah.
And really, thanks to the Ignatian Solidarity Network for organizing this annual event, inviting young people in and listening to them on these important issues. Yeah. That's hope in precarious times.
Yeah, really good people. Some of the nicest gathering and nicest people. That's
wonderful.
Great. So,
yeah.
All right, well, onwards and upwards, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Yes, all right. Have a good day, and keep the faith.
Amen.